if you're going through a divorce or a separation and you feel like your whole world's falling apart, I've been there. I've been there. Plenty of guys in the group, the guys in the comments, they've been there. And I know this is a tough time. This is probably something that you didn't think would ever happen. I know in my case, I know that my wife and I, we did have problems over the years, but I never actually expected us to get divorced. I know there's plenty of red flags between both of us. We would have fights every once in a while, but I guess I just thought that's what marriage was. And, you know, at times I did think about leaving, but something happens when it's official. When she officially told me that it was over, she did not want me to be in her life anymore. She had her new guy. She was moving on. I felt broken. I felt lost. I felt angry. I was very jealous. I was very envious. And in this video, I just want to let you know that this is not the end. You can use that pain to become a better version of yourself. You can honestly, I know it might be tough to believe this now, but you can honestly make this the best thing that ever happened to you. If you start taking the right actions, taking the right steps, you can have a life that you would never thought was possible. So in this video, I want to just go over a few things that if you're going through this situation now, or maybe you just haven't recovered fully, here are some things that if you are doing these, be aware of it and stop doing them. These are things that I did for a long time. So they didn't really get me, they didn't really help me get anywhere closer to, you know, improving myself, getting her back. It didn't help me in my relationships. It didn't help me become a better person. And these are all things that I did consistently. So I wanted to point them out today so that if you do catch yourself doing these, it's completely normal. It doesn't make you, you know, if you are doing them, it doesn't make you a simp or a bad person or anything. It's just normal. This is what happens when you go through a situation like this. A lot of people will never experience this. And I don't know, is that good or bad? For me, it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. So I'm grateful that I did go through it. But I was doing a lot of these things that were not helping me heal. They weren't helping me become better. They weren't helping me move on. So in this video, I'll give you some things to check if you're doing these. If you are, try to stop as soon as possible. And then give you some tips on how you can start moving forward. The first thing to stop doing is to stop begging, stop chasing, stop trying to win her back. She made her choice. She said she does not want you anymore. It sucks, it's unfortunate, but that is what happened. And by trying to beg and chase and to try to win her back, it just makes you look like you don't have any standards. It makes you look like a simp. It makes you look like you'll really put up with anything. I was doing this for a few months after the divorce, or when we were separated. I'd write these letters confessing like how sorry I was, how much I miss her, don't you remember all the good times? And she's probably reading this like, yeah, I don't give a shit because I moved on. I was never all that happy, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't garner respect for me on her end because I'm writing all these letters. I'm not really addressing any of the problems that we had or like just working on myself. And she had already moved on. She does not give a shit what I'm doing. She's got her boyfriend now and I'm sitting in the basement writing letters to how much I miss her and all the good times we had. It just showed that I did not have any standards for myself that I would put up with, you know, her leaving me for another man and then me writing these letters would just get her back. I mean, it was also kind of manipulation as well because deep down, I don't know that I did want her back. I think I was just hurt that she left and I felt like writing these letters, confessing all this stuff, that's what would bring her back. And if you're doing this, you're not alone. I've done it. It's not, you know, the best, not my most proud moment, but that's what I thought would win her back. And then if you're doing this, ask yourself, do you really want this woman back? This woman left you. I don't know why. I don't know your circumstances, but she did leave. She did say she does not want you anymore. Could you really trust this person to come back into your life? I know there was times, I've mentioned this before, we've gone through issues. She rekindled with an ex-high school friend, and we should have ended it there. But because I didn't have any standards, I did the playbook of try to win her back, try to do whatever I can to be a good husband, and it just delayed the inevitable. I mean, eventually the relationship ended. And I realized I didn't really want to be with this woman forever. Like, there was a lot of red flags. There was a lot of just not being happy, being miserable. But because she's the one who ended it, I felt very rejected, very hurt. So I was trying to get her back. And that was a lot of scarcity on my part, thinking I wouldn't be able to find somebody new. And I think it all boiled down to me was that I couldn't envision what was possible down the line. If someone had told me when I got divorced, all the cool stuff I would do, all the great people I would see and meet, all the cool places I would travel to, and all it takes is a divorce and to work on myself, I would have signed up for that in a minute. But when I was going through it, or when you're going through it, like, are you able to visualize what can be possible now that you're divorced, now that you have freedom? Start thinking about that stuff. Ask yourself, do you really want this woman back? Or are you just doing it because you don't want to change and you're scared of what the future holds? Those are important questions to ask. But main point is, be aware if you're trying to chase, if you're trying to win her back, it's not helping your case. It's making you look simpish. It's making her lose respect for you because she left. She doesn't want you anymore. I'm sorry. That's what she said when she left. That was, whatever. I've made videos about these women that get divorced and then they go have their fun and then they miss their husbands. And I'm getting in a lot of cases, the guys that tried to win them back didn't really work on themselves, didn't really figure out what they wanted. They probably did take some of these women back. And they're probably happy together for a little bit, but I'm sure those same problems come up. And a bunch of geese. I'm sure those same problems come up, and then they're fighting down the road. And I know in many cases, I know quite a few people who've been remarried to the same person. They end up getting divorced again. So I don't want that to happen to you. Just be aware. You don't need to try to chase, beg, move on. If you want her back, the best thing you're going to be able to do is focus on yourself, focus on improving what you can, and go from there. The second thing to stop doing and to be aware of is don't keep yourself in isolation for too long. It's okay to recover, heal, figure out what you want to do, take some time to yourself, but you don't want to make this a permanent habit. Humans are social creatures. We need to be around others. If you're just sitting at home in isolation, it's going to give you too much time to think about what happened, what's she doing, what could I have done better, and you know what? It's not your fault. Don't take it personal. There's probably things that you could have done to fix the marriage, whatever, but she left. Those are her values. She decided she wanted to do something new. She had a new plan. So by you sitting in isolation and just beating yourself up is not going to help anything. It's not going to help you move on any faster either. If you can go out, meet new people, just get out and socialize. Just doesn't have to be anything major. Just get out and about, and you'll start to distract yourself a little bit more. You'll be able to heal, and I think you'll start to realize just how fun the freedom is. When I was going through my separation, I wanted to become more social. I wanted to improve my social skills. And one thing I started to do was I joined a volleyball league. I just asked random people, can I join you? And they were fine with that. I joined random trivia teams. You just go out and ask, hey, I know this is pretty random. I just wanted to do some trivia and I don't have a team. Do you mind if I join? And if that's not your goal, don't worry about that, but still go out with friends. Still get out of the house. Go to a bar or a concert just by yourself. You'll end up probably talking to somebody just randomly. So just don't keep yourself in isolation. It's easy to do because obviously you're upset, you're sad. I know for me, I felt kind of ashamed, like I was worthless because my wife left me. I thought I was such a great husband, so I didn't really want to be around others, but it really did help me move on. It did help me improve once I started taking those steps. The next thing you want to stop doing, if you are, is don't numb the pain with addictions. It's easy to try to find dopamine hits, things that'll make you feel good because you feel so bad right now. For me, it was video games. I felt I could just escape through video games for a while, and then I would be depressed that I played them all day and that I wasn't going anywhere, and then I would start thinking about what my wife was doing, and it didn't help me. Then I would go to the bars on the weekend, and I felt like that was the only way to socialize, was to be drunk. So I would get very drunk, try to get over some of the pain, and maybe I could just forget about it. But then I would be out there, and then I would just be sad and drunk, and then I'd have to walk home or find a ride home. And it doesn't help you recover at all. You're just hiding that pain. It's not addressing the situation. That's something that I've dealt with for a long time, honestly, was trying to use alcohol as a social lubricant. I felt I was not worthy of socializing with people unless I was drunk. I didn't feel I could be myself. I thought I was only funny if I was drinking. Like, that was the only way people liked me. And that stemmed early on from, childhood, I guess. But it was something that I was doing while we were separated. I felt that I could only go out and socialize if I was drinking. And it didn't help me. It did help get out there a little bit, but it didn't help me grow as a person. It didn't help me become the man I wanted to be. It's just a crutch, and if you keep doing this, you're not actually healing towards anything. You're just masking that, and then, years could go by and you're still doing the same behaviors. So if you're using any sort of thing that's an addiction to cope with this, porn, doom scrolling on social media, alcohol, weed, there's plenty of vices out there. It's fine to go out, I guess, if you want to go out and just have a good time, but just don't make it a crutch. These are things you have to address. Divorce sucks, separation sucks, but don't mask that pain. Use it. Use that pain. Go to the gym. Use that pain and figure out what you can do better the next time. Like I said, this can be literally the best thing that ever happened to you, but it probably won't be if you're masking it with addictions. You're just going to get down this dark, deep hole, and it's going to be harder to get out of. And then ask yourself this: what kind of new person are you going to attract into your life if you're doing these addiction behaviors? So, something to think about. That's what like I said, these are all things that I've done. They did not help me in any way. So I want to help you guys now. So if you catch this stuff, just be aware of it. If you're aware of it, you'll start thinking like, oh, maybe this isn't the best use of my time. So that's number 3, I guess. The next thing to stop doing, if you're doing this, which I imagine you probably are if she left you for another guy, is to stop stalking her social media. Because she left me for another guy, and I knew it was her coworker, I was able to figure out who he was. I found his Facebook. I searched for him on Google, like trying to find out everything I could about this guy. It did not help me get anywhere. It just made me more furious, more lonely, more guilty. It didn't really, there's nothing to be gained from it. It was just, I would sit there, look on Facebook, any new updates? Is she with him today? Check his Instagram, what's he doing? And there was just nothing to be gained from it. It did not help me move on. I know it's so easy to do because we're always wondering, like, what is she doing? How much fun is she having? And it's always just focusing on negative things because there's nothing good that's going to come from it. It's focused on her and not ourselves. It's not focused on what can we do to improve? What can we do to get better right now? Is this the best use of my time? It's obviously easier said than done. One thing I ended up doing was that I blocked her. I wanted to make sure that, I just couldn't access that. Because once I had access to it, it was easy for me to just trick myself into saying, oh, I'll just see what she's up to today. I hope she's, I guess I don't know what I'm hoping, but probably hoping she missed me at that point. Like, for the first couple months, that's all I wanted was to get her back. And like I said, these are not things that helped you. So yeah, block her if you need to. Social media is probably not your best friend at this point. It's better to just limit how much influence you're getting from other people. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff you could watch on Instagram that would distract you, and you could stalk her all day, but what's that gonna help you? It's not gonna help you move forward. If she's out with her boyfriend and having a good time, that's just gonna make you feel worse. It's not gonna make you feel like, oh, I caught her, or oh, now she might come back. I don't know. Block her if you need to, but don't stalk her on social media. The next thing to stop doing is crucial if you're doing this, is to stop playing the victim. Victim mentality is not gonna help you. Asking, why is this happening to me? Doesn't help you grow, doesn't help you become better. I did this for a few months. I felt like she was doing this to me. It's all her fault. Why would she leave me? It didn't help me grow. It didn't help me recover. My friends, family, they didn't want to hear about that. It doesn't give you that personal responsibility. Personal responsibility is, yes, this did happen to me. Yes, this did suck, but I get to control my emotions. I get to figure out what can I do better in the future. And if you're doing this victim mentality, you're putting all the onus on her instead of what you can do to improve. So don't play the victim mentality. It's not gonna get you anywhere. Try to catch yourself if you're doing this. The woe is me attitude. People want to help you. They want to be supportive. They want you to recover. But if you're playing the victim mentality, most of the time this doesn't lead to growth, and people can only listen to it for so long before they just realize that you're not taking steps to change the situation. She left, it's over. That doesn't mean that she's doing anything to you. She made her decision. She's doing what she feels is best for her. I know it sucks, it hurts, but you have to come to terms with the fact that she left. She does not want you anymore. It's over. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That doesn't mean that you're unlovable. That doesn't mean you won't find anybody new or that you can't be better. But playing the victim is not getting you any closer to your goals. So if you're doing this, catch yourself, be aware. Try to reframe it. Instead of saying, why did she do this to me, ask, what can I learn from this? What could I do next time to improve? Maybe that'll help. The next thing to stop doing is burying your emotions. Everything that you're feeling is normal. It's part of it. You don't have to feel guilty for feeling angry or resentment or jealousy or envy. I thought I was being a bad, person because I was super upset and I wanted her to break up with this guy, and I was super jealous that he had her and I didn't have anything now. And these are all normal experiences. These are normal thoughts. Burying them and just ignoring them and pretending they don't exist is not going to help you at all. They're going to come out one way or another. One thing I found that really helped me was journaling thoughts, feelings I was having. So that way, not only could I reflect on it later, but just writing it down kind of helps you process what's happening, what you're actually thinking. Because your mind, your emotions, everything's going so fast. One day you could be super happy and think everything's fine, and then the next you're super down in the dumps and feel like everything's hopeless. And it's hard to recognize when you're feeling these things. Sometimes it just comes and goes so quickly that you don't even know what you're feeling that day. But by writing down, journaling, you can start to process what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, maybe some ways that you can stop feeling it if you're just feeling angry all the time. Writing that down on what exactly is causing you this anger. What can you do to process that better? So don't hide your emotions. This is an issue that I've worked through my whole life. I was never good at expressing emotions. I felt if I was angry, that would push people away. I felt if I was jealous, I was being a bad person. But these are all normal emotions that are gonna come as a result of this. This is something that I'm assuming you never experienced, and if you have, it's just never gonna be easy. So don't hide your feelings, express them. The next thing to not do or to avoid doing is to rush into a brand new relationship. I was very tempted to do this because she left me for her coworker. I was sitting at home, I got nothing going on. I'm just thinking about what they're doing. So my initial thoughts were, I'll just go find somebody new right away. So I would go down to the bars, I go out drinking, trying to meet new people. I wasn't very successful at it because of my social skills at the time. I wasn't in the best physical shape. But I was wanting to get into a new relationship because I didn't want to feel alone anymore. And thank God I didn't, because had I done that in my current state, I would have just attracted the same things. I had not worked on myself at that point. I still had a lot of red flags. I still had a lot of my own issues. I was still feeling hurt by her having her boyfriend. And had I gone into a new relationship without identifying, one, the kind of women I want, and two, what can I do to improve myself to get those women? And then I guess three, like what kind of life do I want to be living? Had I just got into another relationship, I would never have experienced that freedom. I would have probably settled with somebody who is just the same. Like I wasn't a very high value guy. Like what kind of girl am I going to attract? It's not going to be what I'm actually capable of if I put in the work. So had I rushed into a relationship, I would not have lived the life that I've lived. So don't rush into a relationship. Like I said earlier, had someone told me the things that I could do, the places I would travel, the girls that I would meet, had they told me that was possible, there's no way I would have rushed into a relationship, because I know I would have gotten trapped again. It would not have worked out. So if you want some helpful advice, write down who you want to be, what kind of person do you want to be, what kind of lifestyle do you want to live, where do you want to go, what places do you want to see, and then figure out what kind of woman fits that lifestyle for you. Write down as specific as you can. How tall is she? What does she look like? Is she foreign? Does she have an accent? What does she like to do? Because you want to find someone who's going to complement your life. If you're just going to make sacrifices, I know that's what I did. I didn't know what I wanted from a woman. I just was happy to have any woman that was decently good looking, nice enough. We had a good enough time together. I just took that, and I was happy for a while, but it wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. And now that I'm living a different kind of lifestyle, I wouldn't want that again. So try to identify what you want, kind of women you want, where you want to go, and just visualize. If you put in the work and you got over this divorce, which you will, where would you want to go? What would you want to see? What would you want to be doing? Do you want to have multiple girlfriends? Do you just want to find another girlfriend right away? Like, just try to figure out what you're looking for. If you're not aware of it, you can't really make it come true. So that's what the point of this video is, to make you aware of these things, that if you're doing these, you want to try to stop immediately. And one thing to do is don't rush to get into another relationship right away. Another thing to stop doing, if you're currently doing it, is to stop assuming she'll regret it. When I was first going through the divorce, the separation, I was in that victim mentality. I was trying to chase, I was trying to get her back. And when that didn't work, when she didn't want me anymore, when I, made her lose even more respect for me, I decided I'm gonna make her regret ever leaving. And that's when I started moving, I started traveling, I started working on myself, and it was originally at first because I wanted her to regret leaving me. I wanted to show her what kind of person I could actually become. And it didn't help me grow. It kind of made me bitter, resentful. And once I released that, and it just became about, I'm just improving myself because of all these great people I'm meeting, all these experiences I'm having. I went from living in Wisconsin in a small town of 50,000 people to traveling to Boston, traveling to Vegas, living in Mexico, like all this stuff. And harboring that resentment of, I hope she regrets leaving me, like that doesn't help anything. And honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm grateful she left. Divorce is the best thing that ever happened to me. I guess that sounds kind of harsh. I'm glad I was married. I don't regret any of that, but I was not on a path. I was drifting through marriage. I was just going to my 9 to 5, coming home, playing video games, not experience anything, no goals, no ambitions. And it wasn't until I got divorced that I realized how much is out there, what can I actually see, what can I actually experience. So I'm very grateful for the divorce, and I no longer want her to regret leaving me. I hope she's happy. I hope that the guy she's with now treats her right, gives her the life that she wants. Because of the divorce, I'm living a much better version of life than I thought ever possible. So if you're hoping she's gonna regret leaving you, I understand that. That's exactly what started me on my journey. But it kind of does harbor some resentment. Might be something you want to let go, and might not be the healthiest thing for you. So consider dropping it. The last thing I want to mention is don't compare your healing timeline to anybody else's. Don't judge yourself for it. Some people take a lot longer than others. Maybe they have a lot of things that they're working out and they just want to feel sad for a little bit, or it was a very traumatic experience and it just takes them a little longer. Some people, maybe they want to move on very quickly. They want to start a new lifestyle. They want to move out. That's what I did. I guess relatively quickly I moved on. It took me about 3 months, and then I hit the ground running. I wanted to just experience a whole new life. And maybe that's not you. Maybe you want to take some time to reflect and to journal and to just figure out what you want in life. There's no timeline for anything. This is up to you. This is how you're feeling. This is all according to your goals. So if you're judging yourself based on somebody else's timeline, stop that right now. Those were a few things that I was doing that really affected my healing process. It didn't help me achieve my goals. It didn't help me move on. It didn't help me become a better version of myself. So hopefully by me making you aware of these things, you can catch yourself if you are doing it. You can start recognizing it, become a better version of yourself. If you're still feeling, like you just can't stop doing these, or that you're still angry, you're still envious, you're still jealous, some things that you can do immediately that will make you feel better is to move. Go to the gym, go for a run, go for a long walk, listen to some positive inputs. I recommend Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, just any books on tape. I can give you a huge book recommendation. Journal your thoughts. Write this stuff out. What are you feeling? Why do you feel that way? What are your plans? What would you like to do with your life? Write this stuff down. It'll help you envision a better future, and you can actually make divorce the best thing that ever happened to you. And I guess the final thing, if you're feeling this way, is go out and socialize. Be around new people. Go experience new things. Being in isolation, sitting around scrolling her Facebook, her social media, trying to win her back. Like, these things are all just a distraction. They're not gonna get you closer to anything. So go out, meet some new people. You might find that you're meeting not only new friends, but maybe you're meeting some women that you'd prefer to be around, that are showing you, just a whole different world. These birds are gonna attack me again. I'll put my hood up. I was running yesterday, and one of the birds jumped into my hair and started scratching me, so now I gotta be super careful. But anyways, so get out, socialize, meet some new people. You'll find that there's more to life out there than just, being divorced. There's plenty of things to do out there. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Let me know in the comments if you guys have done any of these things. I know there's plenty of people who have gone through divorce and they've recovered. So what helped you guys? Did you guys catch yourself doing a lot of this stuff? If you're going through a divorce now, have you been catching yourself doing these things? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go to the mall now. Gonna try and get some new clothes. I just wanna upgrade my style a little bit more. I do dress pretty nice when I go out and about, but my daily attire is probably not the best it could be. So I'm gonna go do that, try to raise my value style-wise. I've been running every morning, trying to burn some more weight, trying to get in better shape. These videos have helped me just realize that I still got a long ways to go too. It's a never-ending process. You just learn as you go. I'm always trying to grow, trying to spread value to you guys, and I want to live up to what I'm preaching. So let me know if this stuff has been helpful, and follow me on Instagram. I kind of been posting just my daily routines, things that I'm doing to try to improve. Maybe it'll give you some ideas. Maybe it'll inspire you guys a little bit as well. And it's a great way to connect with me. So follow me there. We'll see you tomorrow.